His nickname is Superbad.
Oh, I hope we don't lose everything. I'm gonna feel like a jackass.
What kind of things do they do in an establishment called Silk? Pretty sure she gets a lot of comments about how effing hot she is, so she's probably tired of them. But
Well, you kind of had to suspect that that's what was going on anyway.
there's no reason he shouldn't have qualified. I guess he did crash kind of twice.
Throwing
Yes.
that at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
This is the Talkin Moto podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Talkin Moto podcast, round 8 from Atlanta. Jason's here. Jeff is here. We got a special guest, Andy. He's on the phone. Welcome, boys.
Howdy, howdy.
Nice.
How's it going?
Hello.
Awesome. All right. I thought you guys would know each other. So I don't know. I'm guessing at some point at Elko, we all raced each other at some point. But apparently we don't know.
Scott, I don't think I would call my career racing.
Well, hey, it's all right.
I was riding. I was there.
But
I think that's kind of how we all were or are. You know, we ride around in competition.
we race
All
on the
racing to
inside.
impress the girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Andy, I guess what are you doing exactly now? We kind of fill me in on what you got cooking.
I mean, we can start right now, or we can start 6 years ago. I moved out of Minnesota. We can have a good long one where we can. I mean, right now I got 3 amateur kids. I'm on a tour right now. We're doing 5 nationals. We're going to leave for 6 weeks. A couple of other qualifiers. Doing a race here in Tennessee. I'm actually in Tuscaloosa, Alabama right now for Mill Creek, and then we go to Daytona. Go back for Oak Hill, which is Jeff Oldenburg's track, who owns Staples. Anybody from Minnesota gets a chance to go down there. Oak Hill is pretty legit. He rips that thing real good, and then hit Freestone up and head back. But my kid this week that I got this week, these few weeks, is Gavin Todoro. He's a novice kid out of Norco. Been good so far. Got 2 first overalls. Pretty much everything's been a podium except for one moto this week, and he decided he didn't want to make it past the first corner in DNF. And then I got another kid that I've been with for the last year and a half, Max Hisco. He is just this last Loretta qualifier, scored enough points to get a pro license for the summer. Won an amateur championship last year at Mesquite. And I have picked up another amateur kid who I'm just starting to do a little bit of stuff with, Chris Aldridge, who's a big-name rider who's got some Kawasaki factory support. And I've also got a freestyle guy, and Matt Byton, step-up X Games multi-time gold medalist freestyle guy at Nuclear Cowboys.
Nice. I know you've been. I used to help out. Hopefully, I'm not doing this wrong, but was it Vicky Golden? Is that? Have I seen you out at X Games before, helping out one of the chicks out there?
Yep, I've been doing stuff with Vicky up until this year. We had got 2 gold medals with her in X Games. The first one she got, I was there. I was part of it, but I didn't do anything with the bike. I was just being there for her. And then I went to the arena cross stuff with her and the best whip this last year too, and helped her with a whole lot of her racing the last 2.5 years.
Awesome. Cool.
Yes.
Well, these guys, Jason and Jeff, they're gonna try to get down to Loretta's this year, so hopefully they can.
Yeah.
I've never been there either.
Nice. I think it'd be fun.
I'm not looking forward to the humidity. I mean, I've been gone out of Minnesota for how many years, so the humidity might just clean me out. It might be my last trip I ever take.
Shoot. Well,
Hey, Andy, I'm trying to creep you on Facebook, and I'm wondering, are you the one from Lester Prairie?
You got it.
All right. I'm not sure I remember seeing you at Elko, but I probably, that's the thing with riding. You're a lot better off, or it's a lot easier to recognize people in their gear or on their bikes.
Here, Andy, let me help you out. Jeff's a guy that wears a white helmet, and coming into the first corner at Elko, he likes to take your front wheel out and watch you cartwheel.
See, that's the problem, though, is when I would go to Elko and the gate would drop, I would count to 10, and then I would go.
Hey, for the record, Scotty, I never got to see you cartwheel. You were behind me when that happened.
Oh, yeah. That's because I was flying through the air without my bike. Never forgetting.
Jeff also tends to count to 10 and then go, so.
I'm not sure that, I don't remember that, but Scotty seems to remember that quite well.
Oh, I remember. I remember.
Isn't that funny how that works?
That's because it hurt like hell.
Strange, the guy that gets taken out remembers it, but the guy that did it has no idea what he's talking about.
All I remember is this white helmet coming from my right, and that's it. Boom. And then yard sale.
Well, if I remember correctly, you rode the Suzuki, did you not?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I ride one now. I never have before, though.
Well, maybe I got somebody else. And that was years ago. I mean, I've been gone for quite a while, so.
I was probably on a Yamaha back then, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Damn dirt bikes. So what else is going on out there?
Just doing my thing right now. I still get the few calls here and there from some people that want me to come work for them. I worked for Enzo for a while for Craig Decker and learned a lot, and they called me this past fall to come out to work with Enzo in California to come help do some stuff out there because of their busy rush time in the year. And then from other teams I've worked with, Mike Batista from MD1 called me to come work for him and do suspension with him, and just doing, I always got them. There's always riders like last year I did Anaheim one with PJ Larson because I've been friends with him since when I moved out here because him and Alex Martin were friends, and Alex was my first pro rider when I worked for the Tyloo team.
Okay.
And that's why I met PJ. And PJ, I told him I couldn't let him go to A1 without a mechanic, and I said, dude, we're friends. I realize money's tight. We'll do what we got to do, and we'll get through A1 together and build my bike. And, a lot of it was last year I interviewed with a couple of teams, and I was at the point where I'd had enough of doing in fact, I had enough doing, of good pro riders, but not being on a factory team. So I interviewed with a couple teams and came down to the last group, and both times, actually in one team, I came down 3 different times in the last group, and the politics weren't on my side because I wasn't friends with the other mechanics on the team, which actually is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I know it worked out in a better spot for me because now I get to be more freelance with my own stuff, and I've got a great group of guys right now. I mean, having getting to work with Vicky the last couple of years was unreal. Got to go and see a lot of stuff and got to be some big parts of history with her being the first female to do a lot of different things and compete with the guys. And she is, I made a post last week on my Instagram about Bryce Valley being one of my favorite 3 riders of all time, and she is definitely in that group of my favorite 3 of all time. That girl on a dirt bike, unreal.
She's trying to qualify for some arena crosses, isn't she?
Yeah, she actually 2 years ago, the first year when I went, and when I was in between, I did West Coast Supercross with Ben Evans and Bryce Valley, and then during the downtime, I went and did the arena cross with her, and she actually came very close to completely pointing out to getting a pro license that year. And I remember when she got a letter in the mail from the AMA stating that she had pointed out she had now had to race pro class and everything. She couldn't ride intermediate being as a female. So
awesome. You said MB1 suspension. You used to work for them?
No, when I did, it was the Truth Clothing Company when I had Ben Evans. I was with them for about a year and a half, 2 years. I was either on the same team, same truck, or working for him. He always ran MB1 with Mike Batista. So Mike and I have been friends for years, and same with Byton. Byton runs MB1 stuff, so I know Mike very well. And every time I call him, he answers right away because he knows that I'm calling for some information. So, and we still talk on a regular basis.
We just picked them up on Twitter today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Mike's a good guy.
Cool.
Been around for a lot of years.
All right. Well, so we just jump.
That's it. Come on. Let's dig in some questions here. What do you want to know?
Fuck. I don't know.
You guys can ask whatever you want. If you don't, I can't really tell you a lot of secret stuff, but I can tell you a lot of stuff.
You guys got anything?
Yeah, I need a mechanic for Loretta's. We're friends by now, aren't we?
Could I say it again? Somebody honked their horn in front of me.
So we're friends by now. I need a mechanic for Loretta's. Yeah.
You pay me. I'm not going to beat around the bush. You pay me enough money, I'll do anything.
Oh, then we're screwed because I don't have any money.
Yeah, well, that was my offer. I mean, I thought it was negotiable. I mean, you know, I have worked. I might have worked once or twice in my life for a Coors Light can. You can have some Matt Bite in that one.
Nice.
To get a case out.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you're doing what you want to do, and you're all over the place, so I think that's awesome.
Yeah, actually, I went through today on Facebook. Gavin was asking me how many states I'd been to, and I went through it today. 46 of the 50 states I've been to, and I've been to every one of them through driving. So
sometimes that's fun, though.
No. And then we're in a show hauler, and I told him the story about when I drove through Washington, D.C. in the Tie Loop show hauler at Fort Budds Creek. I missed my turn, and I saw downtown Washington, D.C. I drove through the Potomac. I was waiting for a helicopter to come over and be like, waiting to get pulled over. CIA, special ops to pull me over and be like, what is this Tie Loop? What are you doing in this big rig, and why are you here?
Screw you guys.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, what, obviously, I'm guessing, did you get, or are you able to watch all the races? Have you been watching them?
I went to A1, went to A2. A3 was the first Anaheim I had not been to in over 6 years, but I have watched every race. We have satellite in the truck. We watched the race this last weekend. I actually got to talk to Tickle on Sunday morning, and Tickle's one of my golfing partners in California, and Brock and I had a conversation about what had happened that night. So
you gonna pull some strings and get them on the show for us?
If you would like, so I can definitely. I mean, who do you want? You can just let me know. I mean, I've worked for Jake Weimer. I've worked for Millsaps. Friends with Golf with Tickle. Golf and worked for Matt Byton. Obviously, I get Vicky on for you whenever you want. You just let me know who you want. I still talk to a lot of these guys and golf with a lot of them and hang out.
Well, after Jason's little Twitter exchange today, might be in trouble.
Why would we be in trouble?
No,
I was nothing but courteous and thoughtful.
I don't think I want to know.
Those are the two words I think of when I think of you, Jason.
All right. Here's kind of the short story, Andy, is I set up the Twitter account for the podcast. And I tweeted Mathis, I don't even know what round it was. Hey, can I get a retweet? And short story, he didn't retweet us, but they ended up bringing it up on their show. And they had Will Hahn on. And they're like, who knows? Maybe you're going to be on their show sometime. So, but Jason kind of started it, and then I chimed in a couple times, but we were actually tweeting back and forth to Steve today, so it's kind of funny. So
just talk to him about hockey. Just bring up hockey. You'll get whatever you want out of them.
I did. I said the Canadians kicked our ass this year.
I was in an airport on the way to Geneva Supercross a couple years ago, and I really didn't have anything to say to Mathis, and I walked over, and we just talked about hockey for 30 minutes. And I was like, that was the best conversation I think I'd ever had, and I can't even skate.
Nah, I guess.
Yeah, but you're from Minnesota, so you're in no matter what.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
That's what I kind of found out today. You can either talk about hockey or District 23 with Mathis, and you're good with him. So
if you know something about hockey, he definitely will talk to you about it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That or Chipotle. That or Chipotle, or who's serving food at what semi. You're always good on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would know. I mean, it sounds like they got some pretty good spreads at some of those trucks, huh?
Yeah. It's when a couple years ago, the Honda was one of the best a couple years ago. I don't know. I try not to go hang out in the pits anymore. It's too much of a fashion show sometimes, and I try to go to hang out the races, see a couple of actual friends that I have, and go sit up in the stands and watch the race and smile because I don't have to be down there dealing with it. But it's this year so far. I heard from Max from Fly Racing that the Jimmy Albertson's team was just doing work on the West Coast. They had Chipotle Chipotle was catered in on a weekly basis.
Wow.
And I think RCH does Chipotle almost every week too.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I heard
that's
Scott
our
can
game
actually
up.
pay for the bill for one of those teams.
Well,
You better pay for me first, jackass.
Shoot. Well, you want to just jump right into Alessi? I guess, can you say what maybe Tickle had to say?
Oh yeah, he didn't. He didn't say too many bad things. He just said, things happen. It's part of racing. But he said the crazy thing is if you were watching close enough, the lap before the Alessi thing, he kept looking down at his bike because he was jumping, and he said that a few corners earlier that Josh Grant came in and put a hole in his case cover. So he's riding around with a hole in his case cover, and that was kind of throwing him off. And then he came in the corner and he was just wow. That was pretty much all he could say. Said he was really sore, and he just said that he didn't know where that came from. Pretty much, it happens.
Like when I saw it, because I don't get Fox Sports 2, so I was a little behind. So
Oh boy.
I know. So when I first saw it, it was Twitter, or not Twitter, but on YouTube. I was like, oh man. But like when I went back and I watched the whole race, it's like, Alessi got the good start, and then, God, who was it? Someone else passed him, and he was just kind of getting beat back a little bit, But, and then Tickle went around him, and then, I don't know. I thought maybe it looked like he just didn't stop. Like, he was pushing on his brake. I don't know. Maybe I was looking at something else, but I didn't think he wheelied into him like Emick was saying, but it definitely wasn't good.
I don't think he wheelied into him, but it looked like he was down the gas, man. I mean, it didn't look like no accident to me.
No, I'm going to go with that wasn't a racing incident. That looked. I like Mike. I've known Mike for years. That looked pretty deliberate, unfortunately, on his side, because Mike's a great guy, and he gets a lot of bad raps, and Mike's actually a really, really good guy, but he didn't use all of his brain on that one. He went in a little too hot and made a bad choice.
Right. Well, especially too, I mean, there's a couple, looked like on TV even, there was a couple deep ruts in there that, I don't think you're going to go in there and pivot on them things without causing a wreck.
No. Negative.
Is Jeff still with us?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
He's sleeping.
I couldn't remember if I unmuted you or not. You guys are talking about the Alessi thing, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I kind of caught the tail end of that. Who said that they didn't sound like... I mean, it looked to me like he dumped the clutch. Like, it looked like he accelerated really hard into him about halfway through the turn.
If you look, the front end definitely came up. The front end definitely left the ground. He definitely jumped out, and he went a little hot and went a little high.
I mean, I guess I understand, that obviously it was on camera and that's what they were focusing on, but that probably happens, a couple times a weekend at any given Supercross. People are taking each other out, I'm sure. Some of these hotheads feel like someone disrespected them and they want to ram them in the next corner. I'm sure it happens quite a bit.
I don't think it's happening that deliberately, because I'm pretty sure we'd be hearing about it if it was, and they wouldn't have made a precedent out of him like they did with the $4,000 fine.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't think it's happening.
I don't think you can.
I think we'd be
use
hearing
the
about it if it
AMAs.
was.
You can't lend the AMA any credibility at this point, can you?
I don't lend them any credibility. If I was going to lend them any credibility, or I should say, I would lend them credibility if they gave that $4,000 to RCH or to Tickle, because it happened against him. But
yeah, but I mean,
if they were good.
It isn't like this
they
is
were
going to
good,
set the precedence, and all of a sudden now they're going to be finding, any dirty takeouts. I mean, it was pretty deliberate, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think that anyone needs to go burn down Mike Alessi's house or anything.
No.
Yeah. If the AMA if they were smart, they would take that $4,000 and they would put it towards a privateer purse and pay it out one weekend.
Well, that's true, and that's another subject that we should talk about at some point.
The that $200 payout that they get for the lights class is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Oh. But hey, Davalos won. Right?
It had to happen at some point, right?
Shoot. I think the best was, Jenny Taft is interviewing Alessi. And he was like, yeah, it's a bad deal. I'm friends, whatever. And I'm going to go tell him, good luck in the semi or whatever. And it was just don't quote me. I thought he said it's just a racing accident or something. And like,
he said it was an unfortunate incident. And then, to be honest, it was my fault. And it's like, well, no shit, it was your fault.
Yeah, like RC is like, I'm speechless. So
you know what? I did ask Tickle. I did ask Tickle if RC said anything after the race, and he said he actually didn't see him. Because that was one thing. That was my first question. I said, "What did Ricky actually say?" Because I was curious about that. He said he didn't even see Ricky after the race.
I've kind of been against having Ricky in the booth just because he's a team owner or a partial team owner or whatever. And you're going to have situations like that. But credit to Ricky for not just blowing up. I mean, I don't think I could have held my composure. And obviously, Kerry Hart couldn't hold his with what he put on Twitter right away.
Well, dude, I don't think Ricky...
Pink did too.
Oh, yeah. I retweeted Pink's thing. That was pretty funny.
Yep.
What were you saying, Jeff?
Ricky kind of went kind of on blast on Alessi a little bit, talking about how this is why he hasn't lived up to his potential. And to me, that's kind of... not everyone can have 10 AMA titles, and Mike's done pretty well. He hasn't won or anything, but I don't know. I thought that was kind of a low blow, and maybe it was.
I thought it was a little bit, but I also think he's kind of right. I think the Alessi last name has held him back, from where he could be if he hadn't pulled some of the bullshit that he has.
Yeah.
Did it need to be talked about on air during the race? No, probably not. But
when's the last time?
I think he had a point.
When's the last time he's done anything really stupid on track?
Well, not necessarily him, but there was the whole laser episode earlier this year. It's not like he's. I've been trying really hard to give the dude some credit and to lay off him, and I just came unglued on Saturday night.
We gotta, I don't know if Andy or if you guys heard anything about this, but did you hear anything about they might be banned from the Nationals? Did you hear anything about that?
Right now they are, aren't they?
No, they're not banned from the Nationals. What's going on is they're talking about they're going to go to Canada.
Okay.
They're going to go to Canada and try to race Metcalf.
Wasn't Tony asked to? Wasn't he not given credentials or something?
No, his probation was up at the end of the year.
Oh,
His probation ended at the end of 13 on December 31st. He had probation until.
Okay.
I was gonna wait till later to bring this up, but do any of you guys follow Denny Stevenson on Twitter?
I don't.
Yeah.
And see what he had to say about it.
Oh, Denny's great.
Basically, the gist of it was that the 800 should save this for his arena cross career. I just actually started following the guy. He tweets some funny shit.
He's definitely got some stories. That guy's been around. He's a good guy to follow. Always has a comment.
Yeah, definitely. He seems like he'd be a really good guy to go have a few drinks with for sure. He's on.
No comment.
All right. I see he's doing Pulp MX tonight, so that should be interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else we got? What the heck happened with Martin again? Anything?
Oh,
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Frog.
Well, if you watch the heat race started, the gate drop, and he did my thing that I did at Elko. He the gate drop, and he didn't go because if you watch him in the first corner, he was third to left. and from watching, I didn't see his heat race in the first round, but from what they were saying, is he did the same thing in the first week too, which is unfortunate because that kid could have had the title this year.
Yeah, it's like that's what I noticed when I watched. It looked like in both the heat and the LCQ, he just was way toward the back. But I mean, he coming around the first corner, it looked like he at least hugged the inside and got closer to the front. And then I think the LCQ he got hung up in that little tip over with someone else. But did his bike fail at the end, or he just couldn't get it started? Did they ever say?
I think it's because he's so short. It's hard to put it back in neutral. I mean, we all know you can't start a four-stroke when it's in gear. That's impossible.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he could get good enough footing. It was like he needed a block or something to put his right leg on so he could actually get a full kick. It didn't look like he could get it started. He couldn't give it a full kick.
Maybe he needs to ride a KTM. Maybe.
He needs something because he's not the only guy out there because his teammate he broke his collarbone in the main event. So Rodriguez is up. So it's just Jeremy all by himself in that truck for the next few rounds.
Dang it.
I get that he got a bad hole shot, but shouldn't he? I mean, it seems like I've seen guys obviously on the West Coast, guys have went down in the first turn and come back and got fifth. I think that something else must have happened because he's fast enough where he should have been able to get into the top 9.
You would think so. I mean, being on a factory-supported Yamaha like he is, I mean, in the skill level that Jeremy has, I mean, the kid can go. You would hope. Even you would think that he'd be able to get up there and at least get into that 8th or 9th spot just to get on the gate.
I'm thinking that the nerves of missing round 1, thinking, man, I better not do that again. It just got into his head and he rode like crap, or something maybe happened. I don't know. They didn't show it, so.
And what's crazy is that's the 2 years in a row he's missed the main in the first round, and now look, I mean, this year he's hurting. He may have been booted out of the seeded practice. He might have to ride unseeded practice with all those other guys now.
No good. No good. Yeah, that's like I said. That's what I had. He had 2 bad starts and. Jason, do you want to tell Andy who Superbad is?
Oh, I thought it was fairly obvious who Superbad is. Hasn't it spread around this week?
I'm still waiting. I tweeted him, like, nice ride, pound Superbad, but no response.
No.
So
are you guys going to enlighten me here?
It's
Cincerillo.
Yeah, but I don't.
He looks an awful lot like Michael Cera from Superbad.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Wonder Boy, Cinderella, the Golden Child. I mean, that kid's probably got more nicknames than anybody else.
Yeah, Baby Jesus.
Yeah. The kid can ride a dirt bike, though.
Not as cool as Superbad.
Well, Superbad makes sense because the dude is super badass, and he looks just like this dude.
I don't know. He was super bad in the whoops this weekend, though.
Yeah. They were. That was not his good spot. Yeah.
No.
that was not his hot spot. No, not at all.
What happened with Barsha? I know he didn't race, but did he just knock himself silly, or?
As far as I know,
they were saying that they're being awful quiet about what's actually going on. They're saying, I guess I don't know if you listened to the Racer X podcast today, but they were saying more or less that they just pulled him out just because he's not in contention, and that they just really thought he needed a break after crashing twice.
Did you guys see that poor?
So whether that's true or not, I don't know. That might be somebody blowing smoke, but that's what they were talking about today.
Did you guys see that poor bastard that cased that double across the start? I think that was in the first lights heat race, I think. But man, up over the handlebars and yowzers.
Yeah, and then Ralph was laughing at him. Wasn't that a nice touch?
Yeah.
I tweeted Rolf a couple weeks ago, and obviously enough, he did not respond to my comment that I said to him. My response was, I've seen you on track walk. I've done track walk a bazillion times. I don't know how you talk to 80 riders in 30 minutes, because that's your weekly thing. When I was on track walk today and talked to him, I really want to know how he hits up 80 guys, because when I was there, I've never seen him walk with any one of my riders. He's never talked to him. But yet he's talked to everybody on track walk.
He
doesn't
go back to
talk to
F1 or
NASCAR. Yeah, he doesn't talk to anybody unless they're sponsored by Monster or their name is James Stewart. So
he is something else. I actually had a great memorable moment of Aaron Bates introducing me to him in Vegas after a race, after one of them, and I went to ask him a question, and he made me turn around and listen to somebody's story about him, and I looked at him and I said, "Thanks for your time," and walked away.
Can't thank you enough for all the time.
Yeah.
That's funny. Shoot, I guess I kind of skipped off of the Alessi deal, but so what? He ended up getting a $4,000 fine, and what's his probation? He can't. He's got
nothing.
You can't.
He's got to be good.
You can't tee anybody up. Can't tee anybody up for the rest of the year.
I don't know. I still think it looked like a clean pass. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna throw something at you.
I mean, to be honest, I think it was Alessi's fault.
Isn't Robin not racing? I don't know.
Hey, listen here, Cole Trickle. I think you should settle down with the Robbins racing, all right, bud?
Even NASCAR isn't allowing bump drafting this year.
Oh, even Jimmy Johnson tweeted that one and said the same thing.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it like that would earn you a trip to the NASCAR hauler or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Do you think at any point in time, Jason, Alessi said to himself, "Harry, this guy's going down"?
I hope he did. You know what? If he'd come out and say that he was thinking that, he would be my hero.
You know, I was just watching it again, not to go back to it or anything, but I think I understand what happened now. I watched him and Tomac. That was who passed him just before Tickle did, Scotty.
Okay.
And him and Tomac ran it in on him pretty good and hit him in one corner. In the next corner, Alessi kind of stood him up, and I think he was probably just really, really irritated at the fact that he was going backwards.
Right.
I think his
I know I get irritated on my dirt bike all the time, and then I think, hey, I'm just going to T-bone this guy, take it out on him.
Just seeing red.
How many times have you thought that about me?
100.
Every time.
It's a good thing you weren't at Cedar Lake yesterday. We'll just put it that way.
Oh. I just watched that guy, Thompson, case the shit out of that big double, and it was a good time.
Did you laugh?
Yeah, I laughed as bad as Ralph did.
Well, Andy, is there anything like, obviously we really don't, well, I'll say it, I don't know about these guys, but I really don't know what I'm talking about. Is there something like that you see at the at the races that like the average person or fan like probably doesn't know, or like something behind the scenes that might be neat to know, maybe?
Being like with bike setup, or like what's going on in the pits, or
yeah, maybe just what's going on, what's all going on down there.
Where's the best place to find hookers and blow in the pits?
Those guys have retired from racing. I would like to say that I could say their names out loud, but I would be in fear of my life that they would come looking for me when I get back to California and I'd get punched in the eye. The biggest thing is I could say when you're watching the races that people don't really realize, and they sit there and they watch body positioning. When people do the whoops, I hope nobody on my fantasy league is listening to me. When I do my fantasy picks, I actually, when I'm at the race, I watch the guys on the whoops. Whoever is doing the whoops the cleanest and best with their bike setup, if their rear end is tracking in the whoops and you are not trying to scrub it, James Stewart style, those are the guys that I usually pick every week for my league. Watch the whoops. If they're at the back end tracks and the front end can dance a little bit. If the back end tracks, you're pretty good. And then from the fan perspective, sit down when the gate drops. I hate that. I hate when I go to race and I have to sit there behind somebody and they stand up in front of me.
Oh, see, that's when we went out to Vegas one year and I'd never been there. So it's like I didn't want to get seats right up close, so I got I think I was like row 29 or 25, which I thought would be kind of in the middle. That's like, it ain't at the top, but like the angle of the seats is, it doesn't angle up very high, and it's like as soon as the race starts, everyone was standing the whole time, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So
it does. And I feel like every time that happens, crazy enough, I feel like I have 10 Scott Kings standing right in front of me.
Fuck.
And they're all wearing your Wonder Woman outfit you used to race in at Elko.
Oh, God.
Dude, that thing was hot.
I bet you sweated some pounds into that thing.
Ugh. The toughest part was putting on those damn, they were boxers, but I covered them up with red vinyl. So you kind of lose the flexibility.
Nothing says breathability like vinyl underwear.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's good times, though.
Oh.
You wonder why I took you out in that first turn.
Man, don't even get me started. That hurt.
God, when did you turn into such a bitch?
Man, well, I guess the best part is
when he quit riding.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Well, there's that.
It was my wife now, so she was taking photos, right? So you guys would know, like the first turn you kind of dip behind that little tree, I guess, so you can't really see. So she's waiting for us to come around, and she's like looking through the camera waiting. And it's like, all right, well, here's first, second, whatever. And then our buddy Boom comes by, and, he's done with his moto, so he's already got his cocktail out. And he's like, oh, did you see Kinger? He just went cartwheeling. And she's like, what? She gets all in the panic. And then, here I come, like, arm hanging down, chest protectors all ripped up. I think I had a tire mark up my back. Damn you, Jeff.
Wait, I thought that was every weekend for you.
No.
Yeah.
No. Usually I crash by myself. I usually don't crash in front of other people and get run over.
You're doing it
we
wrong.
won't talk about I rode this week at Oak Hill with Gavin. We were working on some corners, and we won't talk about I'm not good enough 450. Never have been. I went to turn around, and I just fell over, and that was like, I don't even want to pick this up. I quit. I retired once. I'm going to retire right here again, and I'm going to leave this bike right here.
You know how jealous you're making two of us right now talking about riding at Oak Hill?
With a 450.
4 feet of snow.
I guess, don't be, I live in California. I have access to bikes whenever I want, and I literally go to the track every day, and when I do go to the track, all I want to do is go to the golf course.
Tell you the truth, I've actually been there. I've never been to the level that you're at, but I've taken care of tracks. I've managed Kellogg. I know that feeling where the last place you want to be is a motocross track. That's kind of why I got out of the business, and it has to be a hobby for me. It can't be a job anymore.
Yeah, it's not so bad going to the track. For me, that's not the bad part. It's when I get home and I have to wash the bike and do the filter and then do the oil and get it ready for the next day. And then I'm like, really? Oh, man. But at the end of the day, when these, like I said, with the four guys I got right now, the biggest thing, like, so far the trip's been solid. I mean, everything's been a podium except for two motos with all my kids. The good thing is in the day when seeing how happy they are with themselves, with some bikes set up and everything else, and they're doing good, and paycheck keeps coming in. That's always a plus.
Good deal.
Yes, yes.
Sorry. Wife's home. We gotta be quiet.
Wake up. Host. What?
Gotta be quiet.
Can't talk strippers.
Well, we can. You
Can't
just
talk
have to
about
sit there
where
and
you were
listen.
last weekend?
Ow! All right, man. I don't know if you want to hang out or what else you want to do.
Actually, I walked away from dinner. I don't even know the name of this bar and this restaurant I'm sitting in. I'm gonna go back inside and eat my dinner. I gotta get up in the morning and head over to Mill Creek for this next national.
That sounds way cooler than what I gotta do in the morning.
Yeah, that's a lot better than what I got planned. But, well, cool, man.
I'm pretty much planning the same thing, so sweet. I'll see you there.
Leave right now. Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for taking the time to come on, and yeah, definitely.
No.
I think it'd be cool. If you want to help spread the word, hopefully maybe.
Yeah, just give me over a link to where this is at, and then I'll put it up on my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, or if people want to follow me, it's Bauer651 on all three of them. Hit me up on there if people have bike questions that I'm willing to answer. Some of them I really don't try to share because it's some stuff that I've learned from some teams that I can't really let out, but I'll do the best I can.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, man. Well, thanks again, and yeah, maybe we'll have to. It'd be fun to get out to California sometime, but.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Cool.
Well, thanks for having me, and then I will talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Enjoy the cold
right.
and the snow, boys.
Thanks.
Will do. Thanks, man.
Later.
Yep. Bye.
There he goes.
Now I'm just depressed.
Why?
I don't know. I don't even ride dirt bikes anymore.
Because now he's just got us two.
Well, because now you get to deal with us.
Oh, shoot. But that'd be cool, huh? If he could pull some strings and get a couple other people on the show.
Yeah. Find some people that we get along with.
The sky's the limit, Scotty. I'm going to try to get Alessi on next time, so
Dude,
Ooh, sweet.
let's try to get his side of the story. I think we could probably get Jeff on. I know where he's at. He's a good Christian dude, as we all know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that night off. I'll do my Christian duty. Take that night off.
Well, if they're a race in Melville, we'll have to make some up-to-date Believe the Hype t-shirts or something.
Did you just say Melville, by chance?
He did say Melville.
Did I?
Got same milk, pillow. Come on.
Shut up.
You don't say milk, do you?
Is it bad?
You did say
It
Melville.
was totally Melville.
Millville? Baby?
So, hey, I got to ask you guys, hang on just a second here. I got to get my phone.
Oh, no.
Are you guys all over Twitter now with, like, this whole... Is that, like, a conversation between you and Steve Mathis that I was looking at?
Jeff started
What
that.
What about it?
What was he talking about? You were talking about Kellogg and Elko or something?
Well, it all started basically because I listened to the Racer X podcast today in its entirety, and he talked about Jeremy Martin for 10 minutes. He talked about everybody in the 250 class. Not a single frickin' mention of Jesse Wentland. And he talked about everybody else except 11th place. And I just tweeted him. I said, you know what, dude? Not cool. How could you not give Jesse Wentland some props? He was sick. Best finish. Give the guy a little bit of credit. And he tweeted me back like instantly, like, son of a bitch, I totally forgot to bring him up. So then we got to talk. He got to talking about, yeah, Jesse's, good ride for him. I should have talked about him. District 23 guy, race in Canada. He's a cool dude, And, me and Mathis just kind of ended up bullshitting a little bit after that. But that was basically the gist of it. And I think he was trying to warm up to me a little bit by telling me that he was a District 23 guy, which I already knew that. But yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, see, I guess I didn't know that. I knew the Canada deal, but...
Yeah, well, I don't know where he's from, but Manitoba's just northwest of us, so I know he's
I
a
think
four-time Manitoba champ, although I've never seen proof of it. He claims to be. So, yeah, I don't know. That's funny that he seems to he's always talked about how he has no clue about the amateur stuff at all. So, if Jesse would have won the title at Loretta's and then never done anything as a pro, Mathis would probably never have heard of him. But
no, you know what, and I understand that there's tons to talk about. A guy could fill up 4 hours of radio every day probably talking about this, and they were just doing the race recap. I just thought it was kind of shitty because, this is something else I kind of wanted to bring up tonight if we have time later on, but, the guy that doesn't even qualify for the main is getting, more airtime and more recognition than a guy who had his best finish. I mean, to me, that sucks. I know that's how this sport is. If you're not a member, or if you're not on one of the big teams, you're not riding a bike that everybody knows who owns it and everything else, you're not going to get a whole lot of attention. I think that's one of the shitty things about this sport. And that just kind of sucked that, he didn't even get a mention today.
And he had a good I'll have to send you guys a photo. We went my buddy does amateur wrestling, so we went and watched his show. And plus I couldn't watch the race anyway, so I'm like, well, let's just go and we'll have a good night out. And anyway, so
I tweeted you a link to where you could watch it live.
You did?
Obviously, you didn't see that.
I did not.
Yes, I did.
See, Scott, there's this thing called Twitter, and if you knew how to use it like me, you would know how to get that.
Yeah, because when you were sending me tweets, I was at the wrestling thing already. So, but oh shoot, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I had seen that Jesse, he was like 5th, wasn't he, in the main for a little bit?
Yeah,
he had an awesome start. I think he was 4th in the first corner. In the whole shot, he came out 4th and hung around in that 4th, 5th, 6th area for quite a while. So I mean, he definitely had an awesome ride. And he kind of got hosed when Baggett passed him and Freezy at the same time. Freezy kind of blocked him, so he couldn't jump that double over the start straight. And then Freezy didn't jump the double either, so then Baggett just jumped over both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Freezy did just cut that frickin' corner, and Baggett got the old Topher one.
Yep.
Quiet down over there.
Baggett.
Quiet now, everyone. Lower listening.
I think me and Jason.
I want to hear what's going on at Jeff.
She's shutting the curtain.
Well, at least mute it this time.
My shirt just came off. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh crap!
Now I really made your train of thought go off the rails.
I'm lost. Oh, I think me and Jason were talking about this, Jeff, earlier. It was like Freezy, and it's Chase Owens, right? Is the
Jace.
other? What was it?
Jace.
Jace. Oh, that's right. So it's like that's the Club MX deal.
Yep.
But they never once say that.
No, I noticed that they did Factory Metalworks a bunch of times, but always skip the Club MX part.
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty.
So.
Well, I don't know how much of that. I shouldn't even say anything, I guess, because I don't know how that whole deal works. But I don't know how much Club MX is running that team. If Factory Metalworks is the main sponsor and they're the ones running the team, I thought the same thing. It's like, why do they keep saying Factory Metalworks? Why do they say Factory Metalworks lost their trailer and all this? But I guess there has to be a reason behind it.
Yeah, you gotta get Brandon.
Or maybe not. Maybe nobody knows what the hell is actually going on. I don't know. Maybe they're just like us and they make this shit up as they go along.
Good thing the camera's
I mean,
turned off.
Scott doesn't even watch the race, for Christ's sake, and he hosts the podcast.
I know.
Seriously.
Yeah, Scott, you're fired.
You guys are taking over.
We were going to have to talk to you after the show, but let's just get it out in the open.
We'll just do it now. What the hell?
But don't hang up yet. We want to keep it going.
Well, actually, what we decided is you can hang out and run the board. You don't get any mic privileges anymore.
I'm just the behind the scenes guy.
Yep.
What's happening?
You get to be the call screen.
It would be nice. Maybe we'll have to. I think this is right now seems to be working, but we'll have to.
Are we live right now?
We're not live again. No.
Oh.
No. I know Caleb's disappointed.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to, but I think we talked about it last week. We could try going live again, and then if it's just complete disaster, we can just stop it, Feel like this.
I thought it worked pretty well the first couple times, didn't it? It was just a problem until we tried to get 4 on here.
Right. Yep. And I'd like to keep it that way, like have us 3 and then get, like Andy came on he's on I think a lot longer than I thought he was going to be on, which I think is great, but have a guest come on for a little bit and then hop on and then hop off.
Works for me. Then we can get back to that.
This is good off-air talk. Great radio, bro.
Ah, shit. All right, I'm gonna look and see how did the Minnesota crew do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see Zach Williams made it to the night show. What is he? He was listed in 17th, so he must have qualified like 34th or 35th, something like that. Didn't get.
He didn't get.
He finished 6th in the LCQ, but.
Right. Oh, well, let's take a look.
This is the heat race that Jace Owen led for quite a while, isn't it? I think he led Heat 2, yeah.
So he didn't.
After
Cinderella went down.
Superbad.
Yeah.
Took his little break.
What do you think? I don't know. I guess I'd like to see him get a bad start and then see what he can do. Does that make me a bad person?
He's never going to get a bad start. He's like 87 pounds soaking wet.
Exactly. He's programmed. Although he's a lot taller than I thought he was. He's a bigger dude than I thought he was, actually. But
I think he's still pretty lightweight.
There's no weight there.
Yeah.
And he's programmed to get starts. So, plus I think those Cowies are probably the best on the line right now for starts.
Not good.
And it pains me to say that.
Well, I think he practices with probably 2 of the best starters. Roxon and Villapoto seem to pull hole shots like it's their job.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense because that's what they're paid to do. But
well, in Alessi's case,
it is their job.
That's not bad. Okay, I can't win, but if I can beat all these clowns to the first corner, I'll take my $1,500 and 15.
Well, didn't he have the best race of his career, or his season?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't even know what he finished, but
6th.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
He was 6th, and I think Tickle was right behind him. 7th.
At one point, it looked like he was pulling away a little bit and getting kind of a lead built up because Stewart went down and must have slowed. Oh, what's up, buddy?
You forgot to.
Oh.
Let's keep it clean. We got a child.
Oh, trust me. That kid's used to it. Say whatever you want.
Hey, we got a special guest right now, an impromptu guest. His name is Thor Klein. Say hi, buddy.
Hi.
What's going on, Thor?
That's Jason.
Hi. Listen.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
Hi. I am doing fine.
He's doing fine. So Thor got a new
dirt bike?
He got a new toy this week, Scotty. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he got a new KTM Mini that he's going to ride this year.
I saw that. So now that's they don't shift, right? Just an automatic?
No, it's just an automatic. It's the bad part is it's a little big for him yet. He's got some growing to do. I can actually lower it down because the guy that I bought it from, he raised it up a little bit, but hopefully we're going to get him out there, and at least this way he won't be at a, when he goes from the P-Dub to this, at least he's not going to be at an equipment disadvantage. So this thing's a fire breather, man. I can't believe how much snort it's got for a 50.
Oh, I bet.
It's going to be a
just
handful.
wait. By the time all the snow melts, he'll probably be big enough to ride that thing.
Well, I was kind of thinking today it's kind of frustrating not having the nicest bike in the garage anymore.
Yeah,
that
you
thing
should probably
is
step up your game there.
This thing is super clean, and I'm surprised. I'm really impressed at how high quality they are. I mean, it's got disc brakes front and rear, and it's just all the components seem like they're really nice. So I'm kind of excited to see him ride it. Although this year is going to be tough, we're going to have a lot of days at the track, but it's going to probably be focused more on me and you, Jason, instead of Kiddo. But
I always liked when I was at the track and those poor PWs, man, they just jump, and it's like, if you ask me, a PW 50 is not made to jump. Whack. It's like, oh man. But
well, Thor thinks he's going to get by without doing the jumps because he said he's scared of them. So.
Oh, he's hanging around Caleb too much.
You can always just roll it and go to the inside, buddy.
You can't have double in your heart.
Oh, jeez. All right, so we try to get this other clown in here.
Who's this other clown now?
Zach. He's another kid from California. Oh, man. We'll see.
I'm starting to think that us Midwest boys just aren't cool enough for you. You keep going to California for gas. I just don't get it.
I think everyone else is just getting smart and leaving.
How do you know all these people? Are they all from? I mean, obviously Andy's from around here, but who's this dude?
Yeah, Zach. He used to live in Prior Lake. Yep. I don't know if you guys would. Once again, I'm sure you've all seen him. We just we lose contact. But I talked to him earlier today, and he apparently is a wealth of knowledge.
Oh.
So we can pick his brain, see what's up.
I don't know why you think I know all these people. I was just discussing with Eric Paddleford on Sunday how I've only been racing 11 years. Why would I know anybody in the sport?
Fuck. I don't know. I just assume that we all used to ride at Elko. Everyone was there.
Yeah, but Scotty, what you failed to remember, though, is that I don't even like people. So when I'm at the track, I'm not out talking to people.
Sorry.
I never really talked to anyone. Jason kind of knows a lot more people than me just because he ran Kellogg and people got to know him.
Seriously, Scott. We ride to the track together. He doesn't even talk to me. So
I'm just disgusted that there's another person in the car with me. I'm like, God, I hate people so much.
That's not cool, man.
Like, I friggin' have to ride with this clown. It's his vehicle, and he's driving, and paying for gas and everything else. And I have to ride with him.
Well, I appreciate it. It doesn't mean I like you, though.
Let's see. Of course.
I had this discussion with a guy at work the other day. I told him that I'm not a people person. In fact, I hate most people. And he says, well, you're pretty friendly for hating most people. I'm like, yeah, I'm just really good at hiding it.
Sometimes you just gotta tell a lie.
Hang on. What is it? Dyslexic? When you look at a number and you think it's a different number? Is that right?
I think only if you see it backwards.
Yeah,
that's. You see it backwards, yeah.
You see like 857 and you keep putting in 875 or something.
Okay, that's probably me.
I have a mild case of it.
Mine's been getting worse as I've gotten older. I know that.
Yeah, me too.
I hate that it's really loud. Is that loud?
Who was it that always used to say they were dyslexic? Oh, it was Mike Quinn when he was doing the. He'd like mispronounce someone's name and he'd say, "Oh, I'm dyslexic." I'm like, well, that's not really the definition of it, but whatever.
I actually bought Mike's YZ 250F.
Really?
I did.
Did he sell it when he moved on from the plus 60 class into the plus 65 class?
That was in like 02 or 03 or something. What's going
That's
on, Zach?
How's it going?
Good. I was telling these guys that your knowledge of Supercross is excellent.
Yeah, good.
So you better not let me down.
Oh, no. I would never do that.
So.
Well, I'm going to guess no matter what, it's better than ours. Or mine, anyway.
At least we're honest.
So what are you doing? Just hanging out?
Just hanging out. Not too much.
Sitting in the sun?
I wish I had to work all day. It was beautiful out, though. 70 degrees.
All right, I quit.
Depression is setting in.
You're going to make me start drinking again.
Oh, man. All right, well, let's just start to it. We had Andy on, and I guess we haven't really talked too much about any of the racing. We've just been kind of BSing a little bit, and I'm guessing Zach's going to agree with me here that Alessi's accident was, nobody's fault. It was good, clean racing, right?
No. Yeah, absolutely. He didn't sucker punch him at all. Actually, though, from reading things, it's good for the sport, as bad as it sounds, because it gives it even more exposure. Like, I just read it made a website that...
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I think it was on K-Fan.
It was just on a website. Yeah, it was on K-Fan earlier. A buddy called me. It was on Japalink or whatever that website is. The last time a motocross thing was on there is when Reed flew off at Millville for the Chattapole. I mean, that was the last time motocross has been on there. So, I mean, people don't care unless something like that is happening.
Yeah.
It's just, but pretty big cheap shot. Actually, I turned it on and I think it's coming up.
Nice. We didn't even talk about this yet, but what did you guys think of like the track? I guess maybe flow, the soil. Kind of what they were talking about today. It was a lot of people maybe didn't like it, but I liked the ruts in the corners. I'm guessing there's probably ruts that you can't see on TV that are probably horrible. I thought that double across the start was awesome. I like that versus maybe just shooting straight across but what do you guys think?
I got to be honest, man. I was really confused with the track layout when I was looking at it in practice. I was trying to figure out how the first turn was incorporated into the whole thing. So it was a little bit, when you don't watch them do starts, it was kind of tough to figure out how the track worked, but I kind of liked it. It kind of sucked that the dirt was not the best. It seemed like everyone was complaining about how dry and loose it was rather than tacky. But we keep hearing we keep hearing that Villapoto is holding back because the track surfaces aren't that good, and I'm kind of, I don't know. I talked to you guys about my theory that it's not really. I don't think he's holding back as much as everyone thinks he is. But
that's BS.
I think he's holding back a little bit. I definitely think he's let a couple guys go where maybe before he would have tried to chase them down. But I think it's a mix of both.
Yeah, I suppose.
Honestly, I think if you watch him race, when he races, Stewart kind of just gapped him slowly. He was really the only one you could think could do that. But then, a few guys have done it, which I think it was odd. But at the same time, I think I read earlier, it's kind of true. He's turned into a faster Dungey.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Though,
he's a Dungey with a better base right now, with a faster base. He's being super consistent. I think he's waiting for Ken to make the mistake, not banking on it being him.
It's a good.
At what point though does he? Do you think that he turns it up if he loses the points lead? It's only 9 right now.
I honestly think the only one I don't think he's afraid of anyone for the championship. I really don't at this point. I think with Stewart out, I think Stewart's still the only one that's going to beat him with speed. But as we've seen tonight, you take out Stewart's 2 bad races, he's in the points lead. But, Villapoto hasn't had one, and I don't see Villapoto having, 2, much less maybe 1.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got to wonder, though. I know Roxon's a rookie, but he's playing it pretty good for almost halfway through the series and only 9 back. And if he can snatch a couple more wins, it's going to get real tight. And then Villapoto's going to have to ride like all his fans say he can. I don't know. I just thought that it seemed like he's a bit off right now. And why this year is it
sure
so
doesn't look
different?
like he's gelling with the bike.
Why would he change his approach this year, do you think? It seems like in the past it's been just...
Well, 2011 was pretty close. 2012 was basically everyone got hurt, and then the last year, it was kind of it was close last year for a while, but he got out east. I think that's where people keep saying you get out east. The last couple, 2013 and 2012, I think he both had bad first races, or 2013 he did.
Yeah.
He didn't have the points lead for a long time, and I think that's when people said wait till he gets out east.
I read something today that said that he went on a five race win streak starting in Indianapolis, I think, last year. So,
yeah,
you can't really get any more east than Atlanta at this point. There's obviously the only other one further east is the Meadowlands or whatever. But
I think
the
dirt. I don't know. Dirt still looked like a fairly hard base. It looked like I think maybe tackier. Indy should be tackier, but who knows? I thought Atlanta was going to be tackier.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Just seen the LSE dive bomb. That's a dive bomb.
I thought
that's pretty bad.
Going back to your original question there about the track and the dirt, Scott. I guess my issue with the track built the way it was this week is it definitely brought out that 23rd rider that they always talk about, because there's obstacles obviously that guys aren't doing. The whoops made a huge difference this week, which I kind of agree with like what Mathis was saying earlier today, that it's okay to have a track like this once or twice in the series. You don't want them to be every week. My biggest problem with the way Atlanta broke down is there were so many corners, and especially the corner before the finish line jump, that were down to plywood. And I don't think we can have that in professional Supercross. I think if they're going to build tracks like they are, and they need to be aware of, hey, this is how they're going to break down, so maybe we should build this corner up a little bit if it's going to rut up, so the guys aren't hitting plywood.
Right.
So you need Chad Reed to get out there and tell him where to fix it.
Fucking right.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with the plywood point. They blame the St. Louis RV's crash where he broke his tib and his fib. They said he was down sliding on plywood.
Yep.
Didn't get no grip coming out of that corner. I agree. The plywood isn't acceptable.
We were talking about that corner before the finish line jump on Saturday night, that was down to plywood, and it was down to plywood early. I'm talking about like after the first couple heat races, it was down to plywood already.
I've had enough of the damn Dragons backs too, man. Those just don't do anything for me.
Me too. They can go away.
Kind of like Diana snowboarding in her bikini. I'm over that shit.
Yeah? Are you gay?
that marriage is a cover.
I just,
I think that... Let me say.
No, go ahead.
I don't know. I'll go ahead. The track, I was kind of hoping that someone would do something different in that one rhythm lane where, that long rhythm lane that went the full length of the stadium, but it all seemed kind of follow the leader. And the main event, to me, kind of, I don't know, I was watching it and I was kind of thinking, like, this is about as exciting as watching a baseball game where it's a battle of pitchers, where it was just boring to me. It was like, it all came down to someone missed a triple jump. And that's what decided the race.
Yeah,
you couldn't go faster than the guy ahead of you. And
hitting your marks, yeah.
At some point, I think we're going to get to that point, too, where you've got 4 or 5 guys who absolutely can pull off 20 perfect laps, and it will be about not so much speed, but just one guy will screw up one turn, and that'll decide the race. And that, to me, is kind of boring.
I And that definitely plays into different riders' strengths. I mean, whenever I think the rhythm sections, I always am wondering, if Stewart's going to try anything crazy. And then on the opposite end of that, you get races like that where you need 20 perfect laps. Not very many riders can do the 20 perfect laps, even those guys at the pace they're running.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we saw it last night. Even RV couldn't. I mean, it was the rookie that did it. And I mean, but 3 guys basically ran a perfect 20. RD didn't really have a bad lap either. He just wasn't quite there.
Well, and the only lead changes came when, Roxon missed the finish line double.
Yeah.
And then
lost he the screwed
lead
up.
And then swapped it back with Villapoto when he missed the triple. So to me that's kind of boring.
Wait, you're not giving Alessi credit for leading?
Yeah, I mean, he did. He had a good race. I'm not gonna lie. He was fired up.
What happened with Roxon? Didn't he try to cut over on? Why did he miss that finish line jump?
I think he just took a way too far inside line and couldn't get the drive.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to remember.
I have it on my DVR.
Fast forward.
I'm watching it. So.
I was just. I'm fast forwarding it right now to the main event. I just watched Alessi's little thing.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Oh, you guys got to get on it. I know Zach's on it. You guys been playing?
Mad Skills.
Yeah. Damn it!
No.
I downloaded it the other day. Son of a bitch.
Oh, I did too. I've played it way too much since I've downloaded it.
So here's the sad part is I have up to bike 5 unlocked. And here's the thing, I'm not gonna give you any money. I'm not gonna give you $6 to unlock a bike. I'm not gonna donate money to get a rocket so I can take off faster or whatever.
I bought a bike. Not no rockets, but I got sick of it. I bought the 6 bike. I don't mind giving them a little bit of money because I mean that was done pretty well.
Yeah, so what
I just want my lap times to be better.
So what I've been doing today is I'll just play. I'll play for a little bit and I'll start and reset it. Start, reset, to get. I have to get 1,000 attempts to get the next bike. Man.
Oh, for the 1,000 online. That's ridiculous.
So,
and now we know why Scott was working late today.
Oh, dude, we got the printer working prime today. Got a new print head put in, so now when we print gray, it's gray, not this nice pinkish tone. Ay. But what else? So it was a track. Hopefully, a future guest of the Talkin Moto podcast, Will Hahn, 4th place.
Yeah.
So
we have it on good authority that he's one of the nicest guys in the world. So
yeah, he seems all right.
Well, we have to have him on before we can have Jesse Wentland on. So
I saw that little exchange. I was trying to.
That was an order from Steve Mathis.
That's funny. Oh shoot, I don't have anything. We already talked about Alessi and his fine. What do you think of that? The 4,000, too much, not enough?
I want to know who gave it to him. Was it Feld or was it the AMA? Because I'm sure Feld doesn't give a shit because for them it's ratings. They're getting all kinds of coverage from other.
No, it was the
AMA rule book, right? Yeah, it's got to be the AMA.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Someone brought up. I was reading. Someone brought up a decent point. They're like, what Barsha did by Roxon. What that could have been, that could have been far, far worse than what happened.
Oh, with the whip?
I mean, where do you draw the line? Yeah, with the scrub whips. But, I mean, when you watch the GoPro and then you watch the freeze frame, I mean, he's an inch away from his front tire, and you're 30 feet in the air going 30 miles an hour. That to me, I mean, when you see it, you're like, oh, that's badass. But when you think about it, and then when I seen the replays, you see how close it is, and then you can see it from Roxon's point of view. Like, that had to be pretty scary coming right at you.
Zach, I don't know if you know this or not, but Barsha didn't know he was there.
Yeah, that's right. That's why he did the little look back. scrub whip.
That's what.
But he did it every lap.
Unless he should have said, "I didn't know he was there," and then he wouldn't have gotten a fine.
Yeah, it worked. It worked for him. Well, a lot of people were. Yeah, it's maybe it's politics of it. I don't know. A lot of people cry foul and say the top riders really never on factory teams will never quite get in trouble, or one team in particular. You always hear them crying foul about Monster. But I don't know. I don't know if I really believe in that. That came up for the Lights main event with about Davalos.
I believe in that. I definitely believe that there's something there.
What did Davalos do?
I think that might be. Guessing he jumped the red flag. I'm hearing that he jumped the red flag. And Anderson got docked earlier this year, but he's on a Rockstar bike.
So this
Davalos is the same thing.
So this last race,
he jumped. You can see it in the show. You can kind of catch it. I mean, it's obvious when you look at it. I remember just thinking like, "Oh shit, you idiot! Like you just jumped on a cross flag."
Yeah, it was pretty obvious that he did it. Could you imagine the shit show if they had taken this one away from him?
Yeah, but earlier this year, Anderson got docked. You always hear about riders getting docked, but then it's kind of funny that it's Monster rider. Monster Energy Supercross, nothing. Didn't even get looked at. It didn't even get brought up, really. I personally don't think he should have got docked. It was his race, absolutely. But I mean, I think there's definitely something with the politics of the sport.
Yeah, but what's the drawback if you dock Davalos? Then doesn't Cincerillo get the win and Monster wins either way?
I think it's automatic. I think it's an automatic 2 positions.
Yeah, but I'm saying it moves AC into the lead, and so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not really, it would suck for Martin, but I didn't watch that. I guess I did see a little section where he went through the Dragon's back. Is that where the red cross was?
Yeah, it was. I think it was the jump after the Dragon's back, I believe. It was in a rhythm section. I might have been that one.
Must have been living under.
You can see it on TV.
I didn't see that.
I think it's a little bit unfortunate how much that is coming into play this year, and I think it definitely stemmed with Anderson. But when we're talking about Superbad or Cincerillo, he ended up rolling sections under yellow flags this weekend because he wasn't sure what the rule is. It's like, come on, guys, let's get this shit together, because not only is it making it laughable, but it's also extremely dangerous if now you just have a guy that doesn't understand the rules and he's rolling under a yellow flag. You're going to have guys jumping by him or whatever, and now it's affecting the outcome of a race. I mean, he lost 8 seconds because he rolled a section he didn't have to, So it's like, come on, guys, let's figure this shit out, get it together so we don't have to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, there is, and
Whoa.
they do blame the rule book.
Jason, you need to calm down.
No, I'm fired up, Scott. I'm pissed off. I'm not going to take it anymore.
You're going to write them a strongly worded letter, aren't you?
But I'm still courteous and thoughtful, bitches.
Oh, man.
I'm going on to my second bottle of water.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Without even a bathroom break. Impressive.
Yeah. Talented.
We're at an hour and 40 minutes, too.
I still got that old trucker bladder.
Yeah, I'm already through all my stuff. Oh, what do you guys think of, and we didn't even talk about this a couple weeks ago, but I heard Tedesco has to run that 350. Did you hear anything about that?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I thought that there's a contract thing that there needs to be a 350 out there.
Yeah. Which for Supercross makes no sense. For anyone, because I've heard even Caroli's, I guess, isn't even a 350. I've heard it's a 400, so no one can using that bike.
I heard that too, but I heard that there was someone tore it down and it was a 350 Caroli's.
But then I guess either way, you got that guy twisting the throttle. That's probably a bad example to use, but I've heard a lot of times it's because I know they said a Yamaha was sleeved down to a 400, 390 or a 400.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where they got that from. It might be a 350, but at least for Supercross and at least in our wide open nationals, the 350 makes no sense. Why would you put yourself at a power disadvantage against the best guys in the world?
Well, even at Atlanta, I mean, with the whoops the way they are, you could definitely tell that bike was just, I mean, it was just laboring by the time you get to the end of the whoop section.
And it's not going to have that grunt for them
compared to everybody
inside.
else.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand it. I don't agree with that bike. I mean, Roxon had the choice. He chose a 450. I bet when Muskin, if he's still on the team, I don't see anyone ever grabbing the 350 again.
Yeah, I don't.
And take Caroli off that bike, and who knows? I mean, that thing is, take him off that bike, that thing has nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So it's, I think for us, for amateurs or vets or whatever, yeah, perfect. For pros, no. You want to go to a line with 100 less cc's and RV next to you?
Hell yeah.
Good luck.
I don't get that.
I don't know. I kind of liked you mentioning whoops. I liked that one section. They come into the corner, and then as soon as they come out, there was the whoops. They didn't really have a huge run coming into them. What do you guys think of that?
I thought it was kind of interesting how towards the end of the night people were jumping through them. I was starting to think, hey, these guys are like me. They take the lazy route. They're trying to jump through these shitty whoops.
I think the whoops, they really hurt. I think when the whoops tear down like that, though, it really, everyone's doing the same thing. It takes the skill away from the certain guys. I think Brayton kills it in the whoops. I mean, that's, I think, why he's been doing as good as he's been doing. Like him, for example, like his advantage would have been, it was in practice. That's why he was so fast in practice. It's the whoops. By the end of the night, they're all, I don't know, whatever they were doing, triple quadding or whatever the heck they were doing.
Right.
I didn't like the way they tore down.
I really like the big whoops, but I wish, they were huge, and they were spaced apart quite a ways, but I wish they'd have given them a little
great in practice
out of the corner, because I think it would have showcased the guys that can blitz big whoops a lot better. Instead, we put them right out of the corner, and, even the top guys by the end couldn't, they couldn't blitz them. So...
Oh, yeah, I mean, who is it that cries? Is it Villeman cries foul all the time, that the whoops are too small today compared to, for the bikes and everything, it has nothing to separate. It's not just the top three riders that do blitz them, the whole field can blitz them most nights.
Yeah.
See, I don't think that's
they really need to
at all, I guess. Maybe
I think the whoops have been harder, but really, yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
I think they've been, I still don't think they're bad.
No, I agree with you, but the problem is we're racing two different classes on the same track.
Yeah.
So, it's the top 5 guys in the 250 class that are maybe able to ride the whoops at somewhat of a consistent speed, and it's already a problem that we have such a huge separation in that class. So, maybe they're not as big as they used to be, and it's definitely separating guys. So I don't think you want to go any bigger. I'm going to go back to what I said before. I think this weekend's track was fine, but it's not for every week.
Yeah.
You know what they're missing? And I tweeted this earlier. They need to bring back the over-under bridge.
I kind of agree with what Mathis said.
Early
2000s. I think it was Wygant said earlier today that they just, need to put a cement truck in there and have it run across the track. You have to dodge the cement truck, start bringing in stuff like that.
Are you making fun of me because I want the over-under bridge?
No, because actually, I would like to see the over-under bridge again.
I want to see him go up into the stands. That's what I want to see.
They are.
Are they going to Detroit?
Yeah, one of them they're going up into the stands. I think it's Ford Field.
How about a big step down off the upper deck? That'd be pretty cool.
I think Detroit they should just not even have it in the stadium.
Do what, Jason?
I think in Detroit they should just not even have it in the stadium. They should just bulldoze some houses, some vacant houses, and just build a track outside.
Someone's blowing up.
What was that?
Obviously, it's you.
Aliens. What did you guys think of, did Nicoletti, did he crash again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got dead last. He must have crashed early, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, that poor bastard's having a rough go of it.
But you don't start. I think what JGR did to him was just stupid. I mean,
I agree.
You handicap him. You just you don't. No one comes in 5 races into a season or 6 races, and he's a motocross specialist anyway.
Yeah,
he's clearly good on indoors as well, but you don't give him a 5-race handicap.
What about James Stewart?
If you're gonna have him the whole year.
125.
Yeah, I think bringing him in off the bench is it definitely hasn't done him any good. That's for sure.
No, I mean, are they letting him run all of nationals?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, because he's much better outdoors, I think. But it's still, I mean, if he signed a contract where he can only race, 6 Supercrosses and 6 nationals, I just don't see a benefit to that other than maybe your pocketbook, really, which is going to hurt you in the long run.
I didn't even think it was. I thought it was 3 for sure Supercross and 3 for sure outdoor.
Yeah. That's just I don't get that contract.
But nothing against Grant, but I mean, I guess I'm banking on him being hurt. Which,
yeah, but Grant's always going to have that one race, where he if Grant starts out front, he's one of the few guys, out there. Give him a few more weeks. If he starts up front, I think he can stay there, and that's the difference. That's why Grant always gets rides. He's hurt 10 times out of the year, and then he pulls it out of the leg a couple times. I mean, guy's got speed, but yeah, he's always hurt.
Yeah, it almost makes you wonder why they keep him around. But yeah, he did. He had a good ride this week, I think. Because
he's riding hurt too.
Yeah,
I think it's a second week or first or second, but he's riding hurt. I know that. I mean, I don't know. I know why they keep him. He's got the name, so I guess he's bankable. He's easy to sell, and I think they banking off that couple chances when he's out there that he'll perform. I mean, I do remember him leading Villapoto. Oh, that was a national. Never mind.
I remember him. He's still around because I do like the guy.
I remember him ramming into Villapoto in 2008, I think, in that opener.
Oh, yeah. And Supercross busted him up.
On that big wall, he had to, separate Villapoto from his bike.
The tracks really were cool back then. I was just thinking that it was right on that big wall. I mean, they had just weird things.
Yeah,
06, 07, 08. The tracks were cool. 09, when that Pastrana track, I watched the video of that a couple weeks ago. That was just like a cool track.
I feel like I was there.
You don't see any of that stuff.
That was 09 St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there. That was a cool track. That's what
yeah, it was. No, St. Louis 09. I think who won? Reed won that, I think.
Yeah, but right? I'm saying Blake Wharton won the lights class, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if Reed won that night or not, but
I think he did. When I watched it, I think it was another one of those.
He did because Stewart
yard sailed when he was way out front. Yep.
He crashed on the over-under bridge, I think.
Hello, bring back the over-under.
No, we don't need things to make Stewart crash. We need less of those.
See, if I remember right on that St. Louis, because we were down there too, wasn't there in the rhythm section, if they would have done it, it would have been 120-foot gap because the start came in and then it looped around. Yeah, I remember them knocking that lip down so no one would even try it. But
there was still a massive jump in the middle that I think only Stewart and Reed were doing, if I remember. I mean, that was a cool track. I mean, they had the rhythm jumps were bigger than the triples. You jumped over something onto the next jump. I mean, you don't see that anymore. The bikes have gotten better. Everything's progressing, and our tracks are going backwards.
Well, I think we were just talking about
they've definitely been better this year than last year.
on the practice I watched, they were talking to Wyndham about that year when they were designing tracks. They let some of the riders design tracks, and I think Wyndham said he designed Houston or something and won it and redesigned a track, and that was kind of cool when they let those guys do it.
Well, yeah,
they all seem kind of cookie cutter nowadays.
Didn't they say
Well,
that?
I know they toned him down because everyone was getting hurt. They were saying after 2012, only everyone got hurt at one point, basically. Yeah. All the top guys. I mean, that's why last year was pretty toned down. They've started, I think, to come around a little bit more this year. They're definitely better than last year. But these guys should be on, I think, something a little harder. But
what the hell? They want a cookie or a bozo pen?
So I just watched the Davalos Red Cross thing, and he basically just jumped onto the back of the dragon's back.
Yeah.
What did you just talk
but
about?
That's enough to.
Doesn't really make sense. I didn't even see that Red Cross flag, so.
And I think he might have been past where the rider was, or past the area. I'm not really sure where the guy was down at.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really looked like when you're watching it that he jumped it, but it could have been for the whatever was before it.
No, I think I watched
jump before it, and not for that jump off.
There, when Davalos turns that corner, that right-hander, the flag is out, but the guy that it was out for, I think he's off the track at that point. So I'm not really sure. Maybe they just looked the other way. I seen Davalos gave it a little look back as he was in the next corner. He looked back to probably say, "What did I just do?"
I'm gonna have to wait another 9 years.
But I was almost thinking that he was going to get busted because it's Davalos. I don't know. I gave him crap, I guess, for hiring that guy. Or didn't give him crap, but I thought it was stupid. But I guess it worked out.
We always go back.
But I do think they're.
Me and my brother always go back to this thing where we were in. I think we were in Dallas, and we were watching practice. And this dude, we didn't know who it was, but he was going through this corner so effing fast. I mean, he was visibly faster than everyone else, or visually faster than everyone else. And it was like a berm that was super cupped out, and I think it was almost completely vertical at the, I mean, the guys could get in there and get their bikes basically totally flat and use the G-forces to keep them up there. And this dude was just hauling ass through there, and we found out later that once we figured out who it was Davalos. And I've always been impressed with his speed since then, and I'm kind of surprised he hasn't won. He did win in Toronto in 2006, but that wasn't an AMA, so.
Is that what?
Yeah, with speed, I don't know. He's always had those late race meltdowns. It was always 10 to 15 was the problem, or something happened. He's always fast in practice. He's won a ton of heat races, but it was neat to see him win, but at the same time, there needs to be some kind of limit. This is the lights class. This is supposed to be the stepping stone. This is his 9th year racing the lights class. And I understand they have the points limit, but this guy's been pretty good for all those 9 years. I mean, he's had maybe lower it or put a 5-year maximum on it, but I think it's a little ridiculous for a guy to be a career lights racer, and he's not the only one. But I feel it'd be more. It's supposed to be a stepping stone class, more or less.
Yeah,
you don't make a career out of it. You
I have a little bit of
3 years.
My opinion is they need to get rid of the 250 class being the stepping stone, because, I mean, how is it a stepping stone? You're riding the same exact track. It's the dangers
it's regional.
are just
You're not racing everyone.
Right, I know, but I mean, what difference would it be if you were racing everyone? I mean, it would be no less dangerous, and it would be no less of a.
No, it's not that. But the reason, I believe. I mean, you definitely need to keep them separated. Otherwise, you're going to have it's not going to be a stepping stone class, I feel.
Well, I think I want to see a stepping stone class, but I'd like to see like a
Well, it's not a stepping stone. I mean, it's a lot, but I think it would hurt because are you talking about having the same guys over all 17 rounds?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see all the top guys racing each other all year round, just like you do in the Nationals. And then
I agree.
Add an additional, add a stepping stone class that's like a, maybe a one heat, one one main type deal on each coast.
I got it. Over under
Let's hear it.
bridge.
Do what they do what they used to do.
Hang on. Over under bridge.
Whoa, these guys are like.
And we're gonna do a 40 rider gate.
Oh, that's a great idea. Well, that thing is cooler. No, Red Bull. Oh, from St. Paul. Did you guys go to that thing?
The crashed ice?
The Red Bull event? Yeah.
I actually had a buddy that was
Watching
in
it on TV. That's
Sorry,
pretty
TJ,
cool.
I
I'm watching
didn't-
these
I
guys
didn't get
race
up there to
speed.
see it.
That's ridiculous. Or on skates.
Yeah, that shit's
That's
insane.
badass. Yeah, I've never seen this. That's crazy. It's like a motocross course on skates.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems like a good idea.
See, the only problem with that, though, is that they're on skates and not dirt bikes, and on ice and not dirt, so...
Oh, man, come on.
We got a
That's
couple things going against it.
That's still pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Okay, I know we didn't even talk about this earlier, but what do you guys think of... sorry, Jason, I may have thrown you under the bus on Facebook, but what do you think of Mushmouth running for 2-2?
Oh, Dino?
Yeah.
Ooh. I like it. You got nothing to lose.
The only thing I'd be worried about if I were him is going out there and having some lackluster results and maybe not helping his chances for a 450 ride when the time comes. But if he's healthy and feeling good, I mean,
he's technically, in my eyes, he's won 2 races this year, and basically everyone's looking at it that way because, that Oakland was just an electrical gaff. I think his speed. I don't think he can hurt his stock at this point. If he stays healthy, he's gonna win nationals. It's a guarantee if he stays healthy. I think his stock's gonna be high no matter what.
I guess
if he stays healthy for the year.
I'm a little bit surprised that they're letting him do it. Just because he's come around finally.
You mean Kawasaki
in the 250 class? I get it.
Another guy to help RV.
Whoa.
We're
going to have to get a button,
get it, but
a talk button.
I don't understand. Yeah, we are. Jeff, I need the conch. Where the hell is the conch?
I think Zach has it.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up then.
I don't know. To me, he doesn't have. And maybe, could you think maybe that there could be talks that maybe Reed's gonna have a second guy, and that could be it.
He wants.
Because isn't Dean done after this year? For lights, anyway?
Yeah. He wants another guy. A lot of guys' contracts are up this year, and he's made it very clear he wants another guy. He wants Roxon in the worst way, but I think Roxon's going to Cowie, so I don't think he's getting him.
Yeah,
but I don't. Yeah,
he's going to be a little bit too high for Reed.
Roxon's going to be ridiculous. I think Cowie's going to pick him up. Bite the bullet for 1 year, pay for both him and Villepolo, because RV's already said 100 times he's walking away at the end of 2015. I see him just going there, and then that would mean 2-2. He definitely wants another rider. He said it, numerous times, but without Chad, I don't see how they're going to get the sponsorship. Who's going to take a chance?
If it's going to take somebody big, that's for sure.
Yeah, he needs a top guy for sure.
Well, do you think Reed's going to want to own a team and go out there and fight for top fives? He's going to try to get a good guy, I would think, a top guy. If he ain't racing, he's probably going to want a top guy.
But yeah, Dino, after Ken this year, I don't know who all else is up. Because now, Stewart re-signed. Dungey's up. Is he up at the end of this year or next year?
That's my Moto knowledge is not that well.
I want to say that there were a lot of guys that were up after 14, so...
Yeah, they are. But, I know RV's re-signed, Tomac signed, Stewart re-signed. But, yeah, we know Kenny's up, Dino's up. I'd imagine Blake Baggett's up.
See, now that's kind of stupid, too, because didn't they say, Stewart's, 80% sure he's done after next year or something like that?
2015. Well, yeah, they just probably got him for his last year.
So why would you go to another team for one more year?
No, James is staying.
I know, but to me it's that'd be a no-brainer, I wouldn't switch to Honda for one more year and then call it quits.
What if the paycheck doubled?
Shit, I got enough money.
Yeah.
Shit, he already went for the paycheck once. That turned out. That Yamaha.
There's no such thing as enough money.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Hang on, I'm texting Jeff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets. Maybe Dino will go to Toot Toots Kawasaki. It's pro circuit. I mean, that's a lot of the same things.
Oh heck.
I don't know. I guess just my opinion of Dino was like I expected a lot more out of him last year in the Nationals when he jumped up to the 450, and I was kind of.
Yeah, he was riding. He didn't have much seat time, and I don't know. I think Dino's a real deal. I think we're seeing him now. You know, he's fast. He's real fast. I think. I mean, if he stays healthy, I bet he wins the. It's going to be him or Baggett if they can stay healthy in Nationals. I feel. And when I watch Wilson and Baggett, I just want them to just not get hurt in Supercross right now. And Baggett, he's coming off of an injury too, so who knows? It's hard to say, but they're always hurt in our sport. Someone's always hurt. You're never riding 110. You're 100%.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's hurt right now.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's something wrong. But it's just Dino's. I mean, he's had a rough few years. Dino's had it real bad. It's injury after injury. And same with, I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
Fuck. You guys got anything else?
I got a little something. I don't know how interested everybody's going to be in talking about it, I guess. It really doesn't have anything to do with Supercross, necessarily.
Don't matter.
I don't know. Scott, I think you still get Racer X in paper form.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't know if you do anymore.
Negative.
And Zach, I really don't know. But anyway, we just voice box this month talking about how there's this huge separation now growing between amateur racing and professional racing, and how it's kind of getting out of hand. Basically, these days, if you're not a guy that's living in a training facility, by the time you're 15, 16 years old, that you really don't have a shot to go pro. When it wasn't that long ago that a team like RSR and Jesse Wentland and Zach Williams was a big team and would have been considered a pretty heavy hitter. I just think it brings up an interesting point on where the sport is going as far as how hard it really is to get into the pro ranks these days. To me, I guess I just want to hear your guys' opinions on it. To me, it's pretty sad, I think, that it costs what it does and that your normal average guy who doesn't have a friend who's a pro with their own track and, has a dad who's a millionaire can't get into the pros anymore. And to me, they're just making it harder and harder to do it every year.
Yeah, but that's the natural evolution of all these things.
Yeah.
It seems like, everything starts out as like a grassroots, where in the beginning of motocross, everyone's on an even playing field because no one's ever done it before. And so it starts out like that, and as time goes on, more and more people get into it. And then once you start figuring out, obviously the younger you start, the better you're going to be when you get to that age. So then people start riding when they're 5 and ride all the way up till they turn pro. And then as time goes on, where we're at now, you've got factories looking at kids on 65s and signing them up for, 10-year deals or whatever till they go pro. I mean, eventually, like I was saying earlier about how boring some of the races are, it's going to get to a point where people are, everyone is going to be so good at it that there'll be 4 or 5 guys, maybe even more, that can lay down 20 absolutely perfect laps within half a second of their best time, and it's going to come down to who misses a turn and goofs up one turn, or it's not going to be like there's going to be 4 or 5 guys, different guys every weekend. It's going to just get to me, it seems like it's going to get worse.
I think yes and no on that point. I think it goes in generations. I mean, you had certain the 80s were a lot like how it is mid 80s, early 80s, with at least on the pro level, there was 6-7 guys that could win a race.
But they were. How many of them were taking it so seriously to the point where you always hear about the.
Oh, the 80s they used to say it was it was all the training. 90s, yeah, it was the talent era. You had McGrath and Imig, who I don't think really had to work as hard as the other guys. They were just better. And of course, LaRocco. I mean, no one's going to say LaRocco didn't train, but I think it was more talent. And then Villapoto always blames Ricky for bringing it back to its roots because Bob Hanna, Rick Johnson, all those guys, they trained hard. Jeff Ward, they were known for it. I mean, David Bailey, he won the triathlon for people that are paralyzed from the waist down. I mean, those Johnny O'Mara, those are all incredible athletes. Then in the 90s, I agree, they lost their way a little bit, but then Carmichael basically whooped them back into shape. And it's been that way ever since. So I think it's going to go in spurts with the competition thing. I think you're always going to have guys that are going to be better no matter what. You just can't deny it. I agree there might be more, but I mean, we're seeing it now. I mean, we've had an amateur system that's been pretty good since, really the early 2000s. All these stuff have been around since 2099. And you're seeing it now. There's more guys that can run the pace, but I mean, every generation's got its studs. You got Reed and Stewart. Then you had Dungy and Villapoto, and now you got like some of the new guys. Barsha, Kennard, and you're even going to have Rocks and Tomac. There's always those few guys that I think are going to elevate no matter what to the top.
Yeah.
Even training being equal, they're just got to be better.
To me, it's a little bit sad, I guess, and to take it one step further, he makes it sound like, I guess I should have brought this up earlier, and maybe you guys could have read this. You'd be a little more informed because I'm probably not explaining it all that well. But he's almost making it sound like the industry is doing this on purpose, to keep the average Joe out of it. To a certain extent, I don't agree, but
the manufacturers would never allow it.
On the other side of that, though, what's with this Ricky Carmichael road to Supercross? It's one more thing that you have to go through, and none of these guys like it. Nobody likes having to do it. So I mean, I get it to a certain point. That I think that a little bit they are trying to separate that.
I think what really killed it was the recession. When construction market took a hit, motocross is so blue collar. When the whole economy took a hit. It was I read multiple times that's why they had to increase the price of bikes to make up for it. R&D died. I mean, that's really when the sport really, I think, got unbelievably expensive. It was 07, 08. I don't think really no one wanted it to be that way. It just happened. Or maybe 08, 09. I mean, bikes went up $3,000 in 4 years, basically.
Yeah.
450s did. I mean, it's all recession.
I think everybody looks you look at pro racing now, look at Supercross. Go to Indy this weekend, walk through the pits, you're going to see all these brand new rigs and, Feld coming up with all their new crap, all their technology, their pyro, all this bullshit that they throw into this. And, where does that leave the guy like me? Or, not that I'm a pro by any means, or, guys like Zach and Jesse, Nick Jackson, some of these guys that are showing up in a pickup, they don't have a shot in hell these days. I mean, am I wrong or am I right? I mean,
no. I mean, some of them I don't think. You have to
have a $20,000 suspension to even consider competing to have a decent bike to compete.
Jesse's been. I remember that kid's been good forever. I'm not surprised by him being good. I mean, he was a little.
No, I'm not either.
I remember watching
him more so. I mean, Nick was never at his level. I mean, I don't really think Jesse's basically better than all those guys. I feel he's the best one from Minnesota right now. It's kind of cool watching him go up, move up. It's like,
I agree with you 100%. Because he went into Canada and did his thing up there, and
he was always a level ahead of the next batch. I mean, there's a lot of fast kids from Minnesota now, but I think he's the next. I think he's a level above all of them.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, I
for
wouldn't
sure.
be that surprised if Jesse started beating Alex.
I guess that wouldn't surprise
That
me
would be
either after this weekend. Considering this weekend he was sick. I mean, he was sicker than
And
hell.
Jeremy,
this week.
though.
Who was sick?
Oh, my
Jeremy,
God.
I don't know what's going on with him. 2 DNQs in a row.
Yeah.
Needs
Pretty
the,
pathetic.
needs the over.
I mean, a lot of people picked him to win the championship at the beginning of the year.
Time to start outdoor riding.
Yep.
Just start.
Yeah,
testing for
exactly
outdoor.
what I
Throw in the
thought.
towel and start training for outdoor.
I mean, I definitely think he's going to win Millville this year. You got a good shot at that. Go get a head start.
See, one
Yeah,
thing,
exactly.
Jason, you got to remember too. One of the big drivers of our sport from this point forward is going to be Feld Motorsports, and what they see as entertainment is going to be what they, that's going to be how they want to push it, because, motocross is, obviously it's where everything starts because no one has Supercrosses in their backyard, but it won't be
some
too
people
long,
do.
and the national series will probably get
SoCal's got him
shorter.
now.
And the Supercross
No,
series will probably
don't say
get
that.
longer. And Feld will be the
No,
one pulling the strings.
the riders have been pretty specific, saying in the top riders no more than 12 nationals, because there used to be 13. They cut it, and then Supercross. When they talk about it, the riders they basically say no. We're not going to do more than this amount of races.
Well, yeah, like I said, what I think will happen is at some point, if it's too much for the riders, which series do you think will get the short end of the stick? I mean,
Moto.
Oh,
Definitely
The
outdoor.
Nationals did a lot
for
to
sure.
get him, but I don't think the riders at least will choose anymore one over the other because of all the backlash that got Reed and Stewart. That was pretty hard on their careers.
It definitely was,
but I mean fan wise.
But if it becomes the thing that you have to do, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't see the Supercross series really grow. I can see it 18. I think 18 is the biggest it's ever been. And 90.
I think
Maybe
it all
18,
comes
'cause
down
like
to
I say, it's been that big before, but you're going to run out of time, too, in a year. These guys don't
I
want to
guess
race
I'm just-
any more than they're doing it, the top guys.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that, we're going down this road here where, Feld obviously is looking at entertainment value and,
Oh, yeah.
trying to make this entertaining for the average Joe Blow that is interested in dirt bikes this week, but next week the monster trucks come to town, so we're more interested in that, And to me, I think it hurts the quality of the sport for those of us that do ride and understand what's going on. And I think that's a little bit sad.
Motos.
And
Motos.
yeah, and I think I don't know. To me, it's just a little bit heartbreaking, I guess, that we're kind of losing that.
Yeah. I think motocross is in a lot better shape than it was a few years ago. I mean, there's a lot of negative talk a few years ago about nationals and not even making it.
Well, I would say that
08, 09. They've definitely.
I would say on a pro level that we're in better shape than we were. On an amateur level, no, we are not. We're in despicable shape, at least in this area where, 6, 7, 8 years ago, this sport was huge. Nowadays, it's pathetic. And I think, the pro racing being the way it is has a lot to do with that. Obviously, economy has a lot to do with it too. I won't argue with that there. $10,000 bikes, or we're getting close to $10,000 bikes. That's not helping.
Yeah,
either.
But I think Jason, we kind of talked about that a little bit, maybe last week or the week before. What is that? Whoa! Gonna kick me off my own show? What the fuck? I must have been silent for too long. We kind of talked. It said, "Are you still there?" And it shows a guy like sleeping. But we kind of talked about it last week with the area qualifier. It's like when that comes around. I mean, what's that? May? Was it the end of May or middle of May or something like that?
Beginning of May.
First weekend of May.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's pretty much you're gonna be going into that with, I would say, very little riding. I mean, right? I mean, you're riding at
areas are easy to make.
For sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, I guess I agree with Jason. It's just like, well, it's obviously if we live south, you guys could, you may not be going to all the races, but you at least can be, riding all the time. But yeah,
but you know what?
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead, Jason.
Your Minnesota scene's better than the NorCal.
Oh, I think it's better than a lot of places yet. I mean, when we
were at
Oak Hill, in January, they still had the results up from the last race down there, and I tell you what, that was pathetic. I was like, you got to be kidding me. How did these people not race down here this time of the year? But
I'm pretty sure the Farmington Fair got more turnout than Oak Hill did.
Really?
I guarantee you it did. I mean,
and I'm not talking about
pathetic.
when Motokazi ran it. I'm talking about...
No, it was when Farmington did it.
Dude, that place was packed.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Farmington.
Insert cricket noise here.
Hang on, let me go down to the basement. I'll find one.
Oh, shit.
To me, it's a little bit of a sad reality, and I guess it hit me hard this weekend. I don't know, you guys, obviously, Jeff, you do. Scott, I think you know Eric Paddleford.
Nana? Do you know him as Nana like I do?
What happened?
388 on a Honda, road pro, lived down the street from me for a long time. Anyway, after a 5-year sabbatical, he decided to jump back on the bike this weekend and came with me over to Cedar Lake. And, we just kind of got to talking about the old days, and I tell you what, it makes me miss those old days. The reason it all came up is because we were talking about yellow number plates for B riders, and how I've come to the conclusion that Minnesota is the only district anymore that even enforces that rule, because we've been to Texas, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, all over the place, and you don't see another place that actually has people running yellow number plates anymore. And, Eric brought up the fact that, that's because we used to have so many freaking riders that they had to have different colored number plates because there wasn't enough numbers to go around, And I guess I got to thinking about that. It's like, man, that's awfully sad. And then to see that article today, it was just like, God, this just sucks.
Well, I remember I raced a lot years ago now, like 05, 06. There'd be 3 races a weekend, and there'd be a lot of people at those races.
Yep.
There'd be 3, and if you went to the premiere, it was packed. And one of the other tracks, one of the 3 always didn't get much. Usually, the one way up in the boonies up north. And, the other 2 had quite a few people. Then, because I remember it went from 2 to 3. When I went to 3, it was kind of cool, because when it was 2, it was just packed. If you went to Millville by your second, I never liked going to Millville. By your second motos, the guy stood in front of you, we're cutting laps. It took 2 days. You couldn't finish your races. There'd be so many people.
Yep.
It was.
And it wasn't.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
To a certain extent, Millville's, it's not like that, but they still definitely draw.
No, Millville's always going to. Yeah, Millville's draws in the whole Midwest, and it used to draw all the top amateurs.
Yeah, I think of Kellogg for example. I remember going there, and there was 4 or 5 classes every day. That there was, 2 full gates for one class, and running consies and all that. And man, you go to the track these days, it's pathetic and a little bit depressing.
Speaking of back in the day, this used to piss me off. When 125C had like the most entries. And then they did that.
You have like 120 entries.
Well, it's like,
yep.
Okay, so
that's back when I used to race for Conti wins. That's the only reason I raced. If I could, I didn't care. I'd get in the Conti. If I could win the Conti, I was happy as hell.
Oh man, it was to me it was stupid because okay, we have the people with essentially the least amount of experience. So let's fill this gate 40 wide, and let's.
Oh my God! It was always the funnest first corner to watch.
Oh man!
Oh hell yeah! It was the scariest.
Your first corners would be packed for that. Oh my God,
dude! That was
the crash class was coming. You better run out there.
That was tough. I did that at Elko once, and it was tough to finish outside of what the top 20. You know, so I could get into that consi race. It's like I'm pulling over, you know, letting people by, and I'm like, holy cow, come on. You know, I'm going to have to pull off a lap early just to make sure I don't get in.
See, I always ended up wadded up in the first turn, so that's how I always got into consis.
Well, I had a good time because I got in the consi race, and then it was me and I think Jessica Hansen was in there. There was only like 3 or 4 of us, and it's like the gate dropped, and it was like, you know, well, tried to ride decent and throwing little whipper tails all over. But
see, I remember being on the line for a 125 consi at Millville, and there was 30 of us on the gate for a consi race.
Oh man.
Yeah, Millville used to have 2. We used to have to do that even in the B class. You'd have to do consolation races in the B class there because there'd be so many more. Yeah, Millville would get nuts. That's why I didn't like going there. It was so nuts. You never could finish your day, especially if you 250A, B, C, or whatever. They're always the last 3 damn motos or 450A, B, C. I mean, you didn't even make your race.
Oh, shoot. All right, Zach. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't too rough.
So you'll have to, if you want to help us spread the word, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'll see what I can. We'll throw some people on there. I said, you know what, though, when you got to expand, eventually you're going to have to ditch the Monday.
I don't know.
Well, you can try and take it over from Pulp. He's going to be upset. I did hear him mention you guys on the last show.
Funny.
I caught that right. I'm like, is he talking about Scott? What?
That's because Scott's poking the bear on Twitter.
I am not. You fuckers are.
I just asked him for Will Hahn's number.
You jumped onto my poking the bear today. I wasn't very happy about that. I was like, hey, this is mine. Get out of here.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Keep bugging him. He'll keep bringing you up.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. So, all right, man. Well,
we had a good little chat today.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Zach. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll be in touch.
I don't know. It was good. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Later.
See ya.
See you, Zach.
Let's see.
Dunk.
What else you guys got? Anything fun and exciting?
Some idiot.
My butt hurts.
Your butt hurts?
No, I'm just kidding.
Not cool. Dude, let's...
My what hurts?
Let's see here. We got a ton of action on Twitter today. We're up to 129 followers. Look out.
You haven't thrown any sponsors out today either.
I haven't. I didn't. Well, that was the other thing, too. I want to get something kind of like how I did the intro. Do that with the sponsors. I was at work too long today, so. But yeah, we gotta thank Moto Kazi. We got the Bicycle Works, the Damn Bait Shop, this Team J Law Racing.
Woohoo!
I haven't talked to Clayton. I don't know if anyone's mentioning the show, but you got the Fine Tune Motorsports, buddies Chad and Andy with the Open Mic podcast, this SKD character. That's it.
Sweet.
No one's buying any T-shirts either.
Sorry, I'll buy some.
Why is no one buying any T-shirts?
I thought I had some ordered and they haven't shown up yet. So
No, I got them sitting here. I got one for you too, Jeff.
Sweet. I think it's funny that on that Steve Mathis, did he say something about? Is he the one that said "I've been there, bro"? About all the tracks?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Is that all that all that conversation took place of was 2 tweets?
Oh no, there was more than that.
Oh, see, I'm not seeing them all.
It was a little bit weird because then Scott came in there and threw off her mojo. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, who was that?
How do I see all this interaction?
I have no idea because there was a few different tweets that it went off of, so I can't even find all of them anymore.
This fucking Twitter, I don't get it. I mean,
it's kind of fun, like you say, to poke the bear a little bit. I really didn't mean to poke the bear today. I just thought it kind of sucked that Jesse didn't get a mention. I was like, seriously, dude. You talked about the guy in 13th and the guy in 14th and the guy in 15th and the guy that didn't even qualify. You don't talk about the guy that got 11th?
Did you guys just slay it in your Supercross picks or what?
Oh,
did I do what now?
I forgot
Slay
about
it?
all that.
No, I did. I was telling my wife because I had to watch the race by myself, which was pretty bullshit. But anyway, I I had, like, if Stewart wouldn't have went down, if he'd have won, I'd have had all of them basically. I was really proud.
Oh, Stewart definitely threw mine and threw a wrench into mine for sure. As soon as he went down. Plus, I picked Barsha for my wild card, so I was ready to not even watch it as soon as I saw that on Twitter or whatever.
I was really super close, and if the cards would have fell my way, it could have been awesome. But I would have got, I think I had Stewart, Roxon, Villapoto, who'd I have in fourth? Who finished fourth? Dungy, and then Brayton, and my wild card was Pike, and Pike got like 8th, I think. He was right there. He was in 7th for a while. I thought he was going to pass Alessi for sure, and that would have put him into 7th. And I don't know. I was looking pretty damn good. I felt like Nostradamus a little bit, and then it just kind of came apart.
What am I? Oh, Brayton is the only one I got.
I should log in and see. I think I only got 1 position too when it was all said and done.
I got Dungy, and that was it. I think. Yep.
Yeah, round 6 was my best one. I got 63 points.
I haven't had a round yet where I got more than 1. I sucked.
How come I tweet this to Racer X all the time? Maybe they're tired of it, but I got, you were talking about Racer X, and I got it the other day. Who's on the cover of this month's, right? Chad Reed.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Racer X cover curse. And, like, they never respond.
I don't know if you can blame it on the curse, though, because it wasn't out yet.
Maybe it knows.
Maybe. It's possible.
Do you guys want to hear some fun facts?
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's see.
What place am I
Hey,
in?
Jeff, have you picked your number yet for this year?
Oh, no, I got to do that this week.
Do you know that they opened up 11 through 20 this year?
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until after I picked my number.
Well, what would you have picked?
I don't know, a number 11 through 20.
See, I'm happy with my number. I don't want to change it.
I know, I want to change mine then. I'm hoping that since I haven't gotten it back yet and I mailed it in right away that I am getting 52, but I guess we'll find out.
All right, here's a fun fact, or maybe a question. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's in front of me and it's in a magazine, so it's got to be correct.
If it's not off the internet, it's not true.
It's not off the internet.
Bonjour.
Not true.
It says,
yes, I am a French model.
The most abused part on a motorcycle for Justin Barsha, Jimmy Albertson, and Ryan Villapoto and Dean Wilson is what?
Clutch.
Well, that's a tough one. I would say valves.
And you're going with clutch, Jeff?
Yep.
You're both wrong.
Brake pads.
It says it's the radiator shrouds. It says Jimmy grips the sides of the bike so hard with his knees that he would bend the radiators. And then it says we actually...
I'm calling
bullshit?
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's...
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit.
It says we actually use the Works Connection radiator braces just for him to have sturdier gripping points on the shroud area.
That's something I need to work on, is grabbing the bike harder with my knees.
Team Muscle Milk Honda's Justin Barsha only burns 2.8 gallons of fuel at each round. This includes practice, opening ceremonies, heat races, and main event.
I believe that.
I bet he burned a lot less last weekend.
Yeah, but there's probably a lot more dumped out on the track.
This is kind of neat. It said in '95 the Asterisk Semi was the first of its kind at an AMA Supercross. The Asterisk rig was the first tractor trailer in the pits at a Supercross. All the other teams or sponsors had box fans.
Sweet.
That was boring.
That's all you get. Oh, fine. You want another one? You want another fun fact?
Boring.
Hold on, Scott. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Read me some more lullabies.
This one's entirely too raw.
Who was doing the hammering?
I wasn't hammering. That was my rim shot.
Oh, I thought.
Sorry, I don't have a.
What?
I don't have a symbol.
I thought you squeezed off a couple rounds out of your pistol or something.
No, that fucking thing isn't loading right. Thanks for bringing that up.
Oh.
Pissed me off.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I got to tell you, my family was incredibly disappointed on Saturday night.
What?
Yeah, I could tell.
What happened?
Jason didn't come down and visit.
Someday you guys are going to realize that less of me is a good thing. I did you a favor by giving you a break.
It's okay. We had a lot of work to do this weekend, so.
That's why I didn't come down. I figured you'd put me to work. No, that's not really why I came down. I really had to basically build my bike from scratch. So.
Well, why'd you tear it apart?
It was one of those things where I rode it Friday night, woke up early Saturday morning just because I did, and started washing it, got all crazy about it, kind of went a little farther than I wanted to, changed the oil, started greasing stuff, decided around noon that I was tired and I was going to take a nap, and then I slept till like 4 o'clock, and I woke up and I was like, oh shit, I have a dirt bike to build if I'm going to ride tomorrow.
How did that go out at Cedar Lake?
I had a friggin' blast, man.
Nice.
They got a new tractor over there and a new implement, so they're digging the track a little deeper so it ruts up all nice. It's a ton of fun to ride over there now.
Cool. I have something.
Yeah, and I gotta thank them too. Cedar Lake Arena, they kick ass, hooking me up big time this year. So thanks to Jessica and Chad over there. Appreciate it.
Do they need to get a link on our website?
No. I think I covered it.
I'm saying they can be added.
I'm saying I covered it.
Okay. Okay. I got a few things I'd like to maybe chit chat about off air. Might be fun.
Uh-oh. Jeff, you're going to the principal's office.
Yeah. Woohoo! That's about it, guys. I guess it's over 2 hours, 2.5. Well, Jason says 2.5, so 2 something.
Wrap it up. Let's play the outro.
We have one of those?
Hell yeah, let's try this. You guys might not be able to hear it, but we'll try it. Wait
You actually
for
do
it.
have an outro?
No, we're just going to play the intro on the outro.
Oh. Are we allowed
His
to
nickname is Super Rad
or what?
Oh, I hope we don't lose everything. I'm going to feel like a jackass.
What kind of things do they do in an establishment called Silk? Pretty sure she gets a lot of comments about how effing hot she is, so she's probably tired of them. But
Well, you kind of had to suspect that that's what was going on anyway.
there's no reason he shouldn't have qualified. I guess he did crash on it twice.
Throwing
Yes.
that at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
This is the Talkin Moto podcast. Is that okay?
Sure.
You guys like the outro, the intro?
I like it better than the intro.
Yeah, I think you could work on that intro a little bit.
Damn.
But the outro is good.
Damn.
I'm a little creeped out by that laugh still.